I chose other designers to showcase their work as well. Anybody and everybody who is going for the common goal, which is, like I said, to come up in the community, is part of this event, and it's great. And when it comes together, that day is going to be it's just going to be a blessing for us to see what we've worked so hard to finally get there.
And I will be out there. I was trying to be a vendor, but how my money is right now. But hopefully in the next event, because I want to, I have a lot going on myself with the marketing company, and then I have the model agency that I'm trying to bring up. I have the clothing brand. So it's a lot that I'm trying to do, but when I seen that, I was like, that's something that we need, in Miami. Like, we need, South Florida in general, that we need, like, events like that. Like, yeah, you got Rolling Loud, but Rolling Loud goes everywhere. That's not like Prime. And Ultra, to me, it's not really a music festival to me. Like, it's just it's like in another genre. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need something for the culture, like for hip hop.
Yeah.
And for what y'all creating, that could be a hub. You know what I'm saying? Like, when Hayes sent me that email about artists, I had hit up a lot of artists. I'm like, hey, I need to come on this. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them was thankful because of that, because we need that.
It's an opportunity.
Yeah, and
it's a real opportunity, because that's one thing. You got a lot of people who talk a lot and don't do it. I can't count the times that people have, yeah, of course, I got you, I can help you out, I know this person, I'm going to introduce you to this person, and they just never do it. And it's all about follow through, consistency. Like, this will definitely not be, this is the first event, but it will not be the last. I want us to have an event during Art Basel. I want us to have something going on during Art Walk. I want us to have our own title for a week of our own events. You know what I'm saying? Like, the sky's the limit.
But what was, like, the backstory? Like, how that idea,
So I learned so I call them my creative groups. I got TGT as my first creative group, and the Foundation is my other one. And they had
heard about the Foundation.
The Foundation that's what I'm part of. Yeah, you probably saw the flyer when we did our event back in February. So the designer, when I became part of that, they had already been doing those events. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. A lot of people don't know about these events. People think that it's just Wynwood, they can go and get a little bit of culture, but no, there's events going on all the time, So when I learned from them, and I became part of the group of the main 5 versus me just being any one of the models. And that was really hard. I'm also the only girl in that group as well. So, and that's the norm for me. I think with my character, it's hard for other women to kind of relate. But when I do find other strong, powerful women, it's great. But it's the Leo in me. Me and guys, we get along so much better.
Yeah, that's what's up. So who was, like, your top influences growing up?
I always get that question. That's a hard one. You know what? I was really young in the 90s, but that was the biggest influence I had. Like, I was 5 years old listening to, like, 112 and Mary J. Blige. And my brother's 11 years older than me, so he was able to put me on to that type of music. But growing up, I think the person that I looked up to the most, that's hard. This is a hard question for me. This is actually a really hard question for me. I'll probably say my brother.
Your brother?
Yeah.
That's what's up.
He had his first kid at 18, and he put aside his hopes and dreams of being a doctor and became a corrections officer, and had his family and supported his kids, and was kind of like the only father figure I had, because my parents, like I said, they weren't really there, and I was always kind of bouncing back and forth from house to house when one was angry with the other and stuff like that. But my brother and God, I didn't look up to anybody more than I did to him and God. So
that's what's up. So it's like a brief, intermission. Do you listen to Beyonce and Rihanna, or no? You don't really listen to them?
I hear them on the radio. But it's not like, music, I love music, but music today isn't really my thing.
So
I still listen to music from back in the day. You got my playlist is like Ja Rule and Ashanti.
So this is a good question then, because shout out to Galliano. She's an artist from South Florida, and we had like a little segment on our interview where we were talking about the '90s versus the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
I told her the 2000s to me was my favorite era because the 2000s, like, it was still lyrical,
mm-hmm.
but it had the animation.
Yeah, all the way up until like 02, 03, music was still good for
mm-hmm.
sure. Yeah.
You know, like even like up to like I could say the best days. I'll put to 09 was like, cause think about it, like
I think that there was still good music coming out, but not as much consistent as it was in the earlier 2000s. But yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so do you look at the 90s or the 2000s more as like the golden era?
Yeah. I wish we could get those times back. You know, I don't mind, you know, I'm that type of person that says, oh, I wish I could go back in time, because I don't.
Mm-hmm.
But if I could just get that culture back, if Miami could at least be the way it was back then,
mm-hmm.
or if the world could be at least the way it was back then, it would be a better place. I mean, I used to be able to memorize songs back in the 90s and the 2000s. You know, now I can't memorize any of these songs because I don't know what they're saying.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's all about a really good beat and some really good auto-tune now, and that's about it. And you get your people here and there like J. Cole, you know, and stuff like that, and Rich the Kid, who got a little more culture. And Hayes, of course. You know, they got a little more culture, you know, out them as far as people who are, you know, in the commercial biz already. But for the most part, I feel like everybody's just going with the trend. Everything now is a trend.
So who's like your top 5 artists of all time?
My top 5 artists of all time.
You don't have to be hip hop. It could be like just in general.
Selena.
Okay.
Biggie.
Okay.
Mary J. Blige. I grew up on Mary J. Blige a lot.
It's my auntie.
No
my
way.
Capricorn auntie, right?
Oh, I thought you were like that real. I was like, no way. We're gonna have to have another interview.
I wish.
Who else? That was 3, right?
Yeah.
Hayes.
Of course. No serious.
And
seriously, bro. You coming up, bro, for real.
It's gonna happen. It's happening. Damn, this last one. Can't waste it. I'm gonna say Tupac.
Tupac?
Yeah. I didn't want to be cliche, so I wanted to leave him out of it. But I love him. I didn't want to sound like everybody else, but
so for each artist that you just named, like why are they on your top 5?
Why are they on my top 5?
Like why Selena?
Influential, just so influential. And the way that they became artists, like their music, like Selena's story, number 1, was just was beautiful, and her voice was just catching, and these people, like, they sing and rap about real things, you know, and it was something that you will hear, and it will take you to another place. You be mesmerized in creating your own video. You know, when you ever turn the radio on and listen to a song and you're like doing a whole choreography in your head, that's how much you feel the music. Those are artists that they do that. Yeah,
because we always joke, but it's true. I feel like if Selena or Leah was still here, there wouldn't be no J-Lo, Beyonce.
100%.
Like, I just feel like when you look back, when you hear their songs and just look back at their videos 100%. And their documentaries, like, it's just, like, how?
How? You definitely, Aaliyah especially, she's gonna be number 6 for sure. I wish that we can have, you know, I give good energy to everybody, you know, in the business and in the industry, whether or not, you know, my opinion is to listen to their music or not. But I really do wish we have more powerful artists out there who are singing with more purpose or rapping with more purpose, or you don't have anybody going out to listen to poetry anymore. You don't have anybody out there listening to any speakeasies and stuff like that. Everybody wants to be at Wynwood or at Live or at Story, and it's because of the type of music we make now. Music back then made you feel proud to be on the block, to be humble, to be playing dominoes with your grandfather. Music now is compelling you to go to the club, to be buying $200, $300, $400 purses. Back then it was so much more. Now it's like, oh, you broke? My bad. You know what I'm saying? Where crazy. Music back then was more humble. It was about that. It was embracing that we are who we are, but we just got to get it. You know? So
where you see yourself 5 to 10 years from now?
5 to 10 years, building an empire. Still, I'll never stop working till the day I die. That's just a fact. It's never gonna be. I never want to not be busy. I definitely know I'm gonna have charities. I'm gonna have my empire. I'm gonna buy a studio. I'm gonna have stores, pop-up stores. I want showrooms. I don't want actual stores. I want showrooms because I want every store to have fashion shows, and I want it to also be used for a space to do events. For art. I like art, music, and fashion. All of that. I want it always to be involved in any businesses that I do. So, and that dance studio is definitely coming. It'll come.
That's what's up. You got any shout outs before we close out the
podcast? Of course. Shout out to KM Apparel. That's my boy. He's coming up. He's doing his thing. Shout out to
Gabe,
yeah. Shout out to Simply Jess. She's done a lot for me. Shout out to Mimosa MIA. Shout out to Little Hannes. Shout out to Renegade. Shout out to Hayes again. I know I'm forgetting a whole lot of people, but anybody and everybody that has ever, worked with me, definitely big ups to them.
So that's what's up. I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. This was I was nervous at first. I was like, is it too early to drink? If it's bad if I show up. Where we going, Hayes?
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on the show once again. Sports Biz Music, you can hear it everywhere. iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, everywhere.
Definitely.
Trying to go like nationwide. You know what I'm saying? Soon coming on YouTube. The visuals coming soon, cause I feel like that's the next thing.
Are you thinking of doing anything like live radio, going on to the radio? Soon?
Yeah, I thought about doing that, cause I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm still a DJ, so I want to put my passion back to the music and find a new artist, because that's how I found Hayes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just on social media and stuff. I'm like, this nigga, he hard. So I was just like, let me holler at him. So
listening party was great. Like, that was probably one of my proudest moments. I felt like a mom. I was like, oh my God.
Was it Mixed Event Studios, right?
It was at
Mixed Masters.
Yeah, Mixed Masters. Yeah, shout out to them. Bro.
It was really, really good.
This has been Sports Biz Music, the podcast, episode 36, and we out.